So you're considering selling your home soon. Well, there are a ton of things that I bet you are not even considering and that you need to know about right now. Things like solar systems, fire hardening, and homeowners insurance. Things that could actually make or break your sale. Please do not take selling your home in 2025 lightly. For most of us, it is our largest asset. Let's pull back the curtain on what's really going on for home sellers right now. After 22 years in the market here in San Diego, I've seen my fair share of things that sellers need to be aware of. But the concerns that we are addressing today, guys, they are next level. My goal with this video, that you're informed, you're comfortable, and most important, confident with this whole process. And that includes who is going to guide you through your transaction, your realtor. So I just got out of our monthly office meeting call, and the things that we are seeing coming up lately, believe me, you will not be hearing about this stuff on Zillow. And regardless if you're selling next week or in 6 months from now, I'm giving it to you straight. No BS, the real talk you need before you list your home for sale. Let's get into it. First up, solar systems. If you have solar panels, you better know your numbers. We're seeing more and more deals getting delayed, or even worse, they're falling apart because sellers are not providing the full picture. Believe me, you don't want to have buyers finding out weird details during the transaction. Details like they're inheriting something that they didn't originally sign up for, because that's when things get sticky really fast. So sellers, be prepared. Be certain to tell your agent if you own your solar system or if it's a leased or financed system, what your payoff amount is, and if it can even be transferred to that new buyer. In other words, take out your contract and read it. The last thing that you want right before closing is to get stung paying off a solar lease for tens of thousands of dollars. Guys, we are seeing more and more solar companies just go out of business recently, which makes it even trickier because if your system needs repairs, who's going to fix it? If there's a warranty issue, same question. The bottom line is, if you're selling with solar, do everyone a favor. Gather up all that paperwork up front, because my transaction coordinator, she's going to be reaching out to you with a ton of questions that will need to be answered on your solar disclosure form. My motto, details matter. And this isn't something that you want to get wrong. Okay, we need to have the fire disclosure talk, but don't worry, it's actually good news for sellers. Did you hear that California updated its fire zone maps? Probably no surprise there, right? Well, a ton of homes now fall into high fire areas, especially in parts of San Diego. So here's the deal. Yes, you do have to disclose that info, but no, you do not have to do all of the fire hardening work before you sell. We have a natural hazards disclosure report to show buyers if your home is in a high fire zone. And guess what? Buyers can take on that responsibility all by themselves. So the good news is that you are not required to retrofit your whole property. There are fire resistant vents and decks and wood trim elements involved. So you're best to disclose what you know and pass that responsibility on to the buyer. If a buyer asks if you will do the hardening with their offer, we'll just counter it out, making things much simpler for you. Remember, we are all about not having you pay for things that you're not going to benefit from. All right, let's talk about another hot mess in San Diego, homeowners insurance. It's complicated and it will get worse before it gets better. This has become a big hurdle for buyers and sellers. You need to be aware of that. Like I've said before in other videos, if you own a home and haven't had an issue with your homeowner's insurance in recent years, count your blessings. So get this, some insurance companies are now requiring a copy of the buyer's appraisal and or their home inspection before they're going to issue a policy. So if you are selling your home, don't panic if the buyer asks for more time to get their insurance squared away. We have had it happen now on 3 transactions in recent months. This is where it's okay to give your buyers some grace, because this part of the process now is way more complicated than it used to be. Next up are seller disclosures, and you don't want to mess with this. This one's simple. Just tell the truth. Problems with pests like ants or gophers? Did you ever have a leak that you needed to have fixed? Do you have crappy neighbors that are noisy? You have to disclose it, because the fastest way to get yourself in trouble is to leave something out. What we always say is, when in doubt, disclose. If you ask me, Lenore, should I tell the buyer about, I'm going to stop you before you can even tell me what it is, and answer with yes. You're going to sleep better at night being fully transparent, and your buyers will trust you more too. And finally, the elephant in the room, our market conditions. Things can change quickly. This is not the same market that we had in January. In just the last few weeks, our office active listings, they've doubled. Inventory is rising fast here, and that means that there's more competition. Buyers have more choices, and they're being picky. Now, pricing your home right on day one, it matters more now than ever. This is not the time to test the market. This is the time to work with someone who knows how to position your home to sell it and avoid that price drop spiral. And whatever you do, do not price your home based off of a Zillow Zestimate. I know you're checking your home value there. Don't worry, everybody does it. Here's the truth about Zillow and any of those look-alike consumer sites that you're on. No one has been in your home, or your neighbor's home for that matter. They really don't know what updates and features anyone's home has. What if the Zestimate's too high? Then you are in trouble. And in comes that price drop spiral. What if it's too low? Well, at least you probably get a ton more activity and possibly some offers, but you're also risking leaving money on the table. Selling your biggest asset isn't something that you want to roll the dice on. If you write guide in the comments down below here, we'll send you our home seller's guide, and we just updated it for 2025. It's full of the latest tips and that latest need to know info. So if you do want a copy of that, just type guide down there in the comments. So here's your reality check. Selling in 2025 is absolutely doable, but only if you are dialed in. Now, here's your homework. Get your solar info organized so we can go over it and get it all right for the marketing. Think about the repairs, the updates, and the ongoing maintenance for your home. It will help you with filling out your disclosures. Now, you don't need to go into the rabbit hole here, but it is good to have a basic understanding of how fire zones and insurance can impact your sale, and price smart based on what's happening right now, not last year. Now, if you are serious about getting your place dialed in before listing it, but you really don't know exactly where to start, we did a video covering what you need to do to get your home ready for sale with some simple and cost-effective fix-ups. So you're going to want to watch that one right there.